To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Jay here, positivesarcasm.com. Wait, what happened? Yeah, Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, recorded here from the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast for entertainment purposes only. I just black out. Just bloop, gone. For entertainment purposes only. Like, subscribe, share, donate. Positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. Feeling a little off today, but that's all right. We charge ahead. Off we go. Yeah, if you want to like, subscribe, share, donate, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. You can find me on Instagram at +_sarcasm. You can hit me up through my website, positivesarcasm.com. Go to the contact page there, and you can highlight. You can get me there, contact me, everything, blah, blah. You want whatever. If you want to email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. I just stumbled through all that to say thank you to all my customers and clients. Editing video, editing audio. Thanks to you, you have funded this website, this project, for a whole nother year. It doesn't take doesn't take a genius to know that obviously this site, everything that I do requires some type of monetary backing, and because of all you folks hitting the stage for fitness shows and all the other projects, because of you guys just being there and ultimately just funding it with what little I ask of you, you've done it again. I highly appreciate all of you for keeping the site going, and just for every once in a while commenting, asking questions, subscribing, sharing, liking, laughing, and ultimately all that through whatever means, whether you're just reading it, listening to it, watching it, asking, commenting. The site's online for another year because of you guys. And here's to many more years to come. So I was just thinking about, there are some habits I'd like to break, obviously. And I had been working with AI a little bit, just nothing crazy, I don't want to spend all my time on there. It's not like I don't want to contribute to somebody's house in Georgia being knocked down because they needed room for another data center. But I'm steering more and more away from more of the clickbaity topics, whether it be Israel, Palestine, or Dearborn, Michigan, or the fall of Great Britain, Canada, trade deficits, inflation. There's so many other outlets that can discuss these things more intelligently than I can, and can give better viewpoints than I can, where I'm ultimately like, F you, get away from me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it. I ultimately just want to adjust my cost of living every single year so I can keep up with everything and ultimately live in a place where I'm not going to be bothered for a very, very, very long time. I've taken those risks on this path of mine that I chose, so that I don't have to deal with all this stuff. And it took a few years. It took a good chunk, about a solid 5 years. It could have gone much easier. Honestly, I'm sure people of you who are watching or listening, you could probably do it in about half the time that I did. Ultimately, it's just a matter of how much are you tracking, how much are you carrying behind you, whether it's a wife, kids, a career, debt, material stuff. But ultimately, I'm sure you could do it in half the time that I could. But I want to focus more towards, personal development. And I'm not a motivational coach. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not certified in anything really that would really make a difference at all. I'm not a tax genius. I'm not a public certified accountant. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not an LNA. I'm not a certified nutritionist. I'm not any of those things. But I am 43 years old, and I have seen so much through experience, and ultimately wanting a simple path through life while making some of the dumbest decisions possible. I'm still here in an environment that can bring me peace, that I can focus on what I'm doing instead of focusing on being concerned. I want to be in an environment where I don't have to worry about the things around me. That's what I want. I want to live in an environment where things are peaceful, where I have access to everything that I need, and I can escape the chaos with literally just a matter of getting in my car and driving a minute down the road. That is what I want. That's what I've wanted in life. I've never wanted... I'm not Kevin O'Leary. I'm not I Show Speed. I'm not any of those people. I'm literally just a guy who wanted to get away from all the noise and create his own little personal environment that is ultimately peaceful, and I can grow this little empire on my own terms at my own speed without really trying to just degrade my own health or my friendships or my relationships or anything like that. Chase, are you good, buddy? Are you good? Are you all right? I got Chase in the guest chair today. He's hanging out. You can see his head pop up, but there he is officially, cheering me on, being a good boy as always. He is 8 years old, and he chased his first deer into the marsh this past weekend, and it was quite the scene, because that marsh is pretty deep, but he managed to just leap and jump his way through to the point where the deer's like, I got to get out of here. So he is doing very, very well, cuddled up in the guest chair of this podcast. And I'm going to go ahead and put him aside for now. But the good boy is resting comfortably. He's 100% healthy. It's been a great 2026 for him. So there he goes, and he's gone. Poof. Just like that. Well, he's not gone. He's just literally, like I said, he's just right there. I just want to show him. Letting you guys know that I am capable of taking care of something other than myself. So I've been dabbling with ChatGPT a little bit, and I was like, okay, so last thing I talked about some things last week, and obviously talked some things last week because there was a podcast about it. But the people who really do want to change, people find it so hard to change their lives when the answers to that are right in front of them. But obviously, if you try to go in too many directions at once, you end up going nowhere. I worked with AI to establish ultimately 20 things that can change your life dramatically in 1 year, and then broke it down over weeks, months, the things that you can start doing over the course of this year. And ultimately, if you follow this, you should notice a significant difference in your overall life. So the 20 things that you'll do, and I'm just going to rattle them off, and then we can go through each item, but I'll blast through the 20 things that can change your life in a year. And there's so many people that don't follow this because I see it every single day. The vast majority, like I always wonder to myself, like benching 225, like, is that a big feat? Actually, it kind of is, because when you realize it, that I'd say maybe 5% of the population can bench 225 pounds on a flat bench. It's probably even less than that when you really, really break it down in the United States. So these things, these goals that you realize are minimal, no, there's something to it. But 20 things that can change your life in 1 year. So number one, exercising 3 to 5 times a week, build strength, endurance, and confidence. All right. Number two, and I'm just going to blow through these. Okay. Number two, fix your sleep schedule. Aim for consistent bed and wake up times. Big thing with me. It's a big challenge for me. That's one I'm going to work on even more. Eat mostly whole foods, more protein, vegetables, fruit, minimally processed foods. What is a processed food? Anything that has been processed, anything that is in a frozen container or what have you, like, just, you should know what a processed food is. If it requires like more than one process for it to land on your plate, consider how many, like, bring that back. Like canned foods, those are processed. Anything that is like a chicken nugget, that's probably processed. Vegan options, like Beyond Meat, those are processed options. They're not good for you. So eat mostly whole foods, more protein, vegetables, fruit, and minimally processed. We'll break that apart in a minute. Quit or seriously reduce addictive habits: alcohol, nicotine, excessive gaming, porn, doom scrolling, etc. Just basic stuff that you ultimately is wasting time. Read 10 to 20 good books, especially in areas you're trying to improve. Now, this is where I struggle with. I let the missus handle the reading of the books thing. I'm not really into that. I'm more of the watching the YouTube to learn certain skills or values or things. That's where I'm at. Learn a valuable skill: coding, sales, writing, trade, public speaking, design, or other marketable skills. Save an emergency fund, even a small amount. Each paycheck creates breathing room. I do that. I have a fund for my Mustang. I have a fund for vacations. I have a fund for the wedding. I have another fund for long-term stuff. And then I have my IRA. And then I have my 401k. And then I have my general investment fund. And then I have this, that, and the other thing. And then, of course, and all else fails, I have, tens of thousands of dollars in credit. If I need it, I can use it. So I have that. So I have emergency layers. I don't have just an emergency fund. I have emergency layers. Eliminate high interest debt. What's an easy example of that? Credit cards. They got to go. So, for example, a personal loan is around like 10 to 12%, but a credit card is like 18.9 at the minimum. At the minimum. So obviously that has to go first. So you eliminate high interest debt. That's a concrete goal. Solid. Spend less time on your phone. Reclaim the hours that disappear into social media. Make new friends. Join clubs, sports, classes, volunteering, or communities where you regularly see the same people. Improve your appearance. Haircut, skincare, clothes that fit, hygiene, posture, and fitness can make a substantial difference. I've been working on my posture. You know me, I'm always working on my fitness. Hygiene is a big thing for me. I don't want to be caught off guard. I don't want to make people uncomfortable. Clothes that fit. I'm big into clothes, but I'm not big on spending large amounts of money for clothes. I'm a bare minimalist when it comes to the amount of money I need to spend, because that has been a trade over time. Haircut, skincare, absolutely. That's my thing. I don't overdo it, but I have a schedule for it. Clean and organize your environment. Your room and your workspace should make good behavior easier. I have a great work environment here. Everything is clean and organized, which allows me to see things that are out of place and immediately move into a spot that is good. A clean environment, clean mind, clean actions. Start journaling. Write down for what you're doing, what isn't working, and what you want next. I have a book. It's not really a journal, but I do write things in it. Maybe once a week to kind of get some ideas out that I want to get done, because obviously I need that. I have a thing that says biz and non-biz, and I have that separated, and I just put bullet points of, oh, this needs to get done. I should work on this sometime when I get a chance, look into that when I get an idea, and then this is stuff I got to get done, this, and this. Boom, 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 boom. Done. And that's easy to make. Set 3 major goals for the year. Too many goals usually mean none get enough attention. So yeah, there is that. Do something uncomfortable every week. Talk to someone new. Apply for something. Try a new activity or confront a fear. So these are some options for you. Stop comparing yourself to people online. A big thing. Compare yourself to who you were 6 months ago. That is a big thing. Stop looking at what you see online, because a lot of times it's been doctored. I'm not going to say it's faked, but it's been enhanced, doctored, out of context, out of skew, whatever you want to call it. It's not right. And it's not you. It's like comparing your paycheck to somebody else. At the end of the day, those people don't pay your bills. You pay your bills, or at least you should be. Stop comparing yourself to people online. I already talked about that. Improve your communication. Learn to listen, speak clearly, set boundaries, and handle disagreement. Handle disagreement properly. Build something of your own. A business, portfolio, YouTube channel, app, art project, garden, or other meaningful projects. Something tangible that you can touch. Take responsibility for your life, which is number 20. Focus less what you can't control and more on what you can change today. Like I said, if you live in Dearborn, Michigan, and you don't like it there, make a plan to leave. Make a 6-month plan to a 1-year plan to leave. If it has to be sooner than that, 3 months. Make a plan to be like, I want to go live somewhere better and more peaceful so I can get more things done and have a better quality of life. That's number 20. Now, the biggest trick, don't attempt all 20 simultaneously. A better progression is month 1 through 3, which is sleep, exercise, diet, and environment. Month 4 through 6, money, skill development, and social life. Month 7 through 9, career/project, plus relationships, plus confidence. Month 10 to 12, consolidate everything and raise your standards. If you consistently improve 1% at a time, you can look back 12 months from now and generally feel like a different person. 1% at a time. So that has been turned into a life improvement plan. The goal of this isn't to become a completely different person overnight, because you want to maintain at least that core that is you. Because if you're trying to improve yourself, number one, if you're trying to improve yourself for somebody, okay, but ultimately the main person you should be improving yourself for is yourself. All right, that's a key thing. I have felt lost, confused, and upset with myself so many times in life that the one time I decided I wanted to figure things out just to the point where I could be the best version of me possible, the best version of me possible actually came to life, and the best people in my life came and stayed. It's to spend 1 year systematically improving health, discipline, finances, relationship, career, confidence in your environment. So your rules for the entire year: sleep, exercise, food, money, learning, phones, reflection, and consistency. So month 1, all right, let's face it. Month 1, your life fucking sucks. You have debt. You don't like where you live. You don't like who you are. You don't like where you work or how your business is doing. So this is your baseline. And this is in conjunction with ChatGPT, where I sat down and I did a little research. And it's like, okay, we're not going to focus on what other people are doing. If they're teaching you something, that's one thing. I get stock advice and market advice and real estate advice and investment advice and fitness advice and all this other stuff, but I read it quietly to myself and I don't share it with other people, especially people who are not willing to learn. But the baseline, we'll start with the baseline. So this is week 1. Your life sucks. How are you going to fix it? So this is for people who actually care enough to want to fix it and stay consistent. All right. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, but week 1, you're going to write down what your current sleep is. So if you're only sleeping 5 to 6 hours, write that down. Exercise. Are you exercising at all? Are you actually challenging yourself? Are you actually doing certain body parts and not others? Like I've been focusing more on doing light squatting, but doing it twice a week because my back was hurting and I had some other problems. I was not able to squat. Now that I'm able to do squatting again, I'm starting light, but I'm doing it consistently to the point where I am challenging myself. It can be difficult at times, but I'm doing it twice a week, which is actually making a difference. And I'm making sure that I'm doing it to the point where I can recover. And since I'm going into the, quote, off season where I can ingest more calories, I have an actual chance to grow these muscles to the point where they're going to be stronger and I'm going to have a healthier base. So, sleep, exercise, finances, write down everything about your monies, whether it's good or bad. Screen time, relationships, work, school, biggest problems. Sip of water. Stay hydrated, folks. Clean your bedroom and workspace. Do you not make your bed? Make your bed. Is your wardrobe a mess? Clean it up. Do you have an office or a desk that you sit at and do things at, or it's just covered in stuff? Well, clean it up. You might have a bunch of projects sitting in your desk that you haven't done anything with that you need to get done. So start lining those projects up, put notes on when you're going to tackle those, and start going after them. Start going to bed and waking up at consistent times. If you got to be at work at 7:30, try to wake up in the 5s instead of the 6s. You don't want to be rushing out the door, okay? You want to be rushing out the door. You want to have a calm morning that is like, all right, I got this many minutes to do this many minutes to do that, and ultimately it'll become part of your routine. Start going to bed and waking up at consistent times. That's what that is, okay? Try to get that 8 hours of sleep. Try, all right? Have some nice relaxing tea. Take some theanine or some chamomile tea, and just try to go into the night being like, I'm going to get some sleep. Your brain is spinning constantly. Okay. Write all those things down. It's like, what didn't I accomplish today? What am I concerned about? What scares me? Why haven't I get this done? You write all that stuff down. You can be like, cool, I did that. I can attack that in the morning. After coffee or tea, of course. Take a baseline photo and measurements if useful. Okay, this is for health. You think you look like shit, you got man tits or something like that, take a picture and be like, all right, I look like this. And I've done this, obviously, because I did the whole fitness journey BS for a long time. I don't really talk about it all that much. And Not really going to, but ultimately, yeah, that was part of it. It's called progress photos, progress pics. So do that. Measurements when needed. Write down 10 things you want to change this year, okay? So if you want to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds, remember 5 pounds is mostly just water weight, but see what you want to get stronger, blah, blah, blah. You want this, that, and the other thing. You want money, you want a significant other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, you got to be the best version of yourself in order to get these things to tag along, all right? So 10 things you want to change this year. You got 365 days. Week 2, sleep and morning. Set a consistent wake-up time, all right? I'm not asking you to wake up, run out the door, and go to the gym. I'm not asking you to do that. Just say, start by waking up at a consistent time. If your alarm goes off, get up. Don't have like 15 different alarms. Your alarm goes off, get up. Start your day. Slowly. Shuffle to the bathroom. Shuffle to the coffee maker or to make yourself some tea. And take the automation out of it. Just shuffle in the morning. Go slow. Don't stress. Just slowly saunter to this location, to that location, and go slow. Stretch a little bit. Don't be a maniac in the morning to the point where you're going to give yourself a heart attack. Don't do that. Keep your phone away from your bed. I've been doing that. I actually shut my phone off. Now I have 3 different phones, but ultimately I shut my primary phone off at night. The other phone, I don't even really bother looking at at all because it has nothing I need. So one's off, one's away. Okay. So there's that, but definitely keeping technology away from your bed can be helpful. Get outside after waking. Get outside soon after waking. That's an interesting one. Some people, like to go sit outside or get some air. I can tell you this much: in the wintertime, you don't want to be up here. You don't want to be outside. You really, really don't. But if you can get outside, maybe go for a stroll or something like that. I can't say the word walk because if I put that in a sentence, I have somebody in the guest chair who's going to lose their minds. So I will not be saying that so that I don't. He's actually asleep right now. I'm going to go ahead and just pull him up. Where's that display capture? There we go. Is that the guest chair? Yeah. He's actually asleep right now. Just out. There. Okay. Good night, buddy. Okay. So get outside when you can. Create a simple now outside after waking. Like if you're gonna start your day, like I take him to the park every single, basically almost every single morning. That's good. That gets everything moving. And it's for him. It's great. It's great exercise. Excuse me, for him. Create a simple morning routine. Wake, hygiene, water, food, movement, priorities. So my routine, of course, is I wake, I make tea, then we move on to hygiene, showering, full hygiene, clothes, proper clothes, clean clothes, good-looking clothes. I pick out, I make sure everything matches or contrasts in the right way. My cars are organized. Food, plenty of food and water for the day. Obviously, movement. And then just what do I need to get done right away? And then scrolling. Avoid staying in bed scrolling. Scrolling through what? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Are you going to learn anything? Because if you're not, don't waste your time. Just write something down. There's stuff in your head. There's always something in your head that's just doink, 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 doink. Get that out on paper. You never know what it's going to turn into. This is week 1 and 2. Let's move on to week 3. Week 3 is physical health. All right. Exercise 3 times. So walk every day. All right. Every day. Now, how long should you do that for? Well, I'll give you a quick thingy. It's ultimately if you stroll for, 25 minutes, you probably burn like maybe 100 calories. Maybe. But if you do that every day, ultimately it is making a difference. You are warming your body up for the day. If you do that every day, you are going to feel better. If you're ultimately just waking up, throwing things in your car, and then driving off to wherever you need to drive off to, you're not ready. You're not ready. Your body's not warmed up. Your brain's not warmed up. nothing about you is warmed up. So you're going to kind of stumble into the day, which is never great. So there's that. Walking every day. Drinking more water. Yes, that is significant. Drinking more liquid, but ultimately making sure that you're getting plenty of sodium, you're getting plenty of other nutrients that are sufficient for your body. But yeah, it's to start with water. Obviously, your muscles cannot operate dry. They operate much better with liquid in them. Liquid and sodium. Make at least 5 meals at home. I prefer making every meal at home. It's so easy to put together a wrap, put together a salad, make protein and vegetables. So making 5 meals at home, yeah, you should be making all your meals, your home meals at home, and then your lunch meals and everything like that, saving you a ton of money. Just remember, every time, if you order out at work every single day, you're not even spending like $10 anymore. You're spending an average of $15 to $20 a day if you're eating every day at work. $15 to $20 a day. Breaking out the calculator, by the way. So if we're doing that, let's just do, you say you're spending $17 a day eating lunch. Times that by 5. You're at $85 a week. $85? I can do an entire grocery run for 80% of that. So you times that by 4, that's $340. $340? I can get whole groceries for the week for maybe $70. Times that by 4. Sorry. Times that by 4. That's $280. So, I can eat once a day for $340 a month. Once a day for $340 a month of processed food, or I can spend $280 a month and have an entire fridge full of groceries. Proteins, vegetables, carbohydrates, butter, oils, eggs, chicken, fish, all this stuff. Maybe not necessarily fish, but other items. Definitely chicken, definitely pork, definitely eggs, definitely dairy. I'm actually doing much better with dairy now. I've been drinking a lot of 2% milk. I prefer raw milk, but I've been doing much better with milk, actually, because I just been started to put it in my diet again. So there's that. So like I said, you can set an average of $17 a day, or you can drop $280, finding the most proper grocery store to suit your needs. Because I live in a state where there's no sales tax, so I have that luxury because I made a smart decision of not moving to a overpriced city in an overpriced state. There you go. So, reduce one particularly unhealthy habit: smoking, drinking alcohol, sugar-based cereals, sodas, things like that. Reduce one of those, okay? If you smoke, reduce it or stop it. If you drink a lot of soda, reduce it or stop it. All right? Options to consider. So that's week 3. You're going to exercise 3 times, walk every day, drink more water, make all your meals at home, and reduce one particularly unhealthy habit. All right? Now, what's the easiest meal to make? The easiest meal to make is obviously just deli meat, lettuce, mayo, and wraps. Now, there's all kinds of wraps. You can make egg wraps. You can just grab some of those basic wraps or whatever, and you can just grab a bunch of deli meat, throw it in there, add some lettuce, and you've got proteins, you've got salt, you've got lettuce or peppers or spinach, you've got some fats in there, you've got some carbs, and you could do a lot with that. But ultimately, that's a simple one. There are other ones that are more like fitness focused, like, chicken and vegetables, where you just cook a bunch of chicken in a George Foreman, or you throw it in the oven, you throw some frozen carrots in there, you heat them up, and then there's that. But ultimately, these are simple things to put in your face so you can move on with your day. That won't ultimately bury you when you're working. Week 4, digital reset. So you got to check your screen time statistics, and I'm going to make a more concerted effort on this one because, even though I have this platform, it's easy to get distracted because it's nonstop. It's just a nonstop feed of just stuff. It's just useless. for the most part. So I'd say 10% of it has value and the rest of it doesn't. So there's your options. So try to reduce one of those particular habits, but checking your screen time statistics can be a bit of a wake-up call. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I spend that much time each week? It's like, I could have done so much stuff, whether it was just keep busy stuff like mowing the lawn or raking the leaves or sweeping the house, to other things. But ultimately, yeah, there's a lot of time wasted out there. You'd be surprised. Deleting apps you compulsively use. This is something I need to work on too. I need to put them on different things. Like maybe take them off my primary phone and put them on on my primary phone, I don't have any email. But I do have 2 social medias. Maybe I can move them to a other phone, like one of my older phones that I just use for other stuff, and do that, and just ultimately figure out, hey, how can I minimize this stuff? Because I don't play any games on my phone either. But let me see if I can ramp that up a little bit more. For you, if it's really bad, yeah, you should cut that shit out completely. So check your screen time statistics. Delete apps that you compulsively use. Turning off unnecessary notifications. That's another one. So I don't get a lot of notifications on my phone except for Moo. Link in the app. The app link is in the description down below. You can check it out. That one I should probably remove those notifications so my phone just doesn't blip off all the time. So that's one option. Let's see. Establish a daily phone-free hour. Well, when I go to the gym, I don't look at my phone. I have my headphones that allow me to skip songs. And then if I have to grab my phone, it's because I'm changing the category of music that I'm listening to. That's an hour where I don't touch my phone. I don't like answering calls. I don't like checking text messages. I don't go online. That's an hour right there. So yeah, that's mine. That is mine. When I'm at the gym, there's no phones. Okay. What's next? Turn off unnecessary notifications. Establish day of phone. Have 1/2 day. This is week 4, digital reset. Have 1/2 day with minimal social media. So the end of month target, your environment is cleaner, your sleep is more predictable, and you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So that's 4 weeks of basically cleaning up your environment, fixing your sleep and your morning routines, getting ready to work out, and basically physically get yourself better, and then nutritionally getting more involved with your nutrition, just food in general, and then digitally, the whole digital footprint you're leaving behind, reduce that significantly. You're trying to accomplish more with the time that you already have allocated to you. So that is the 1 month plan. We move on to month 2. Month 2, build discipline. Learn things even if you don't feel like doing them. Week 5, daily checklists containing 3 to 5 important tasks. Completing your hardest task before entertainment whenever possible. Week 6, exercising 3 to 4 times. Walk 7,000 steps a day if it's appropriate for you. Start tracking your workouts. See, how am I doing? Am I getting stronger? Am I getting more reps in? Am I getting stiff here? My mobility, can I work on that? Start tracking that. Week 7, pick one bad habit to reduce significantly. All right, I know mine. Identify its triggers. Okay. And replace it with a specific alternative. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to try to do something else. Week 8. We're only in month 2. Start a nightly 5-minute review. What went well? What didn't go well? What would I do differently tomorrow? That is something you should write down because this is something I actually think about a lot. And it needs to be written down so I can execute it in a better manner tomorrow. But that's a pretty good one, is ultimately what went well, what did not, and what can I do differently tomorrow. End of month target. You are becoming someone who keeps promises to yourself. You have goals and you're following through with them. This is just month 2 alone. Month 3 is where we get into finances. This is a difficult one, okay? In a world where everybody thinks like financially things are getting away from them, you have the chance to jump on the gravy train as well, So auditing, list your income. What is your reoccurring expenses? Internet, phone bill, car payment if you have one, heating bill, electric bill, grocery bills, blah, blah, blah. List your debts, okay? Do you have this credit card? Do you have this personal loan? Do you have this college debt? Do you have this medical debt? All right. Write it all down. Get an Excel spreadsheet. You don't have to use all their algorithms and formulas. Just write it down. Just type it in. Type it in, hit save, and be like, this is my shit show year 1. List those debts, list the subscriptions underneath it, and then calculate your approximate monthly surplus and or deficit. It's okay if you're in the negative. It's just you're setting a baseline from where you are. Okay? If you can get from deficit to break even, that's amazing. That means that you have so much more room to negotiate that you didn't even realize. You can start picking those things out much easier once you eliminate that deficit. Week 11, start saving. Establish an automatic savings transfer. Start building an emergency fund. Avoid unnecessary purchases for 1 week. Unnecessary purchases are easy. It's going out to eat, alcohol, unnecessary clothes, buying on Amazon, eBay, anything like that. Coffee, daily coffees at Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. Stop doing that. Okay? Building an emergency fund or a savings fund, that's easy. It starts really small, okay? Snowballs start pretty small. But if you've got a dollar, if you start with $1. $1. All right, each week, and put it in a high interest savings account. You know, SoFi has one. I think it's like 3.5%, something like that, 3.75. That's something. If you put $1 in that every single week or every other week or something like that, just keep throwing that stuff in there. You can start savings accounts and crypto accounts and stock trading or investment accounts for free. It costs you nothing to start those accounts. And ultimately, it just costs you the money that you put into it. All right. And there's plenty of stock options out there for you to pick and be like, I'm going to grow this over 10, 15, 20, 30 years and do this myself. I don't like using a lot of financial advisors for these things because ultimately they are going to take some of your money, number one. And number two, they are going to build a portfolio based on their interests a lot of the time. So ultimately, if you can build your own, that's a good start. And there's a lot of free information out there that will help you absolutely keep up with the S&P, beat the S&P. There's plenty of avenues to explore. Do not go for the cheap reward. Those penny stocks are not going to help you. More often than not, they're just going to lose their value, and you're going to lose all that. They're going to lose all that shit that you put in there. So if you want to just go slow, long-term investments, there's plenty of options out there. So avoid those unnecessary purchases so that you can take that money and put it towards something of significant value. So set that 1-year savings target on week 12. Make a debt payoff plan if applicable. It is. You have it. Get rid of it. Learn basic investing and personal finance concepts. So that's week 12. So end of month target. Every dollar has a purpose. That's what I just said. Every dollar does have a purpose. Because even if you can't afford to buy one stock of CrowdStrike, like one share of something that costs like $150 to $200, like Nvidia is like $215, $220. You can buy it in $5 increments. Okay? You can buy it in $5 increments, $10 increments, $15 increments, and just throw it in there and leave it, and it will accrue. By the way, Nvidia has a quarterly stock dividend, so it will reinvest in itself once you hit the minimum dividend requirement, which I believe is $1. And then it will start building into itself. It takes time, but you have time, and do it consistently. So learn basic investing and personal finance concepts. End of March, every dollar has a purpose. Month 4, become physically stronger. All right, establish a 3-day strength routine. All right, so you've already got like a 3 or 4-day workout plan. Now we're going to get stronger. Learn proper form for basic movements. Week 14, increase consistency rather than intensity. Okay, track repetitions, sets, distance, or weights. How many weights do I do in squat? This many. How many do I do in bench? How many do I do over here and over there? How many minutes am I on the treadmill? At what intensity? At what angle? So there's that. Week 15. Improve your food quality. Okay, the quality of food that you're digesting. All right, you're going from this rice, try this rice. This protein, try that protein. This vegetable, what about this vegetable? Something that's more dense. Prioritize adequate protein and fruits and vegetables. Okay, fine. Reduce excess junk food. There you go. Bag of chips. Make that go away. Alcohol. Try to get rid of that. Week 16. Take another progress measurement. You've taken a picture in the beginning. You are now 4 months in. Take a picture. See what the difference is. All right? Take multiple. So you're like, okay, my legs are now here. My body weight's maybe a little bit less. Or maybe I'll look a little bit bigger because of my weight, blah, blah, blah. Week 16. Take another progress measurement. Compare your performance to week 13. End of month target. Exercise is becoming part of your identity rather than something you occasionally attempt. All right? When you go into the gym, man, it is intimidating because you got so many people in there just going batshit bonkers crazy, doing heavy deadlifts, heavy squats, heavy bench. You're not there for them. You're there for you. You can hide under a hoodie and some sweatpants and just go to work. Just put your headphones on and just be quiet. Nobody knows how big you are when you wear baggy clothes. Granted, if you're fat, they're going to know how big you are. But ultimately, you put on enough, you can hide, you can go from there. Okay? Hide it until it's time to show it. Month 5, learn a valuable skill. So become noticeably better at something that can improve your future. Programming, sales, writing, public speaking, graphic design, video editing, photography, a skilled trade, plumbing, electricity, whatever, landscaping, data analysis, or a foreign language. Learn Spanish, learn German, I don't know. But learn how to learn something that you have no knowledge of, or something that you started off with and then you never really went anywhere with. Week 17. Choose the skill in the learning curriculum. Week 18. Practice 30 to 60 minutes a day on this skill. Week 19. Complete your first small project of the skills that you've learned, whether it's public speaking or writing or programming, video editing. Create a project. You've learned enough. Now it's time to build a project with a play line, all basically like, I'm going to do this, and this at this time, and this time. Take all that shit video that you have and start and put it together in a project that can in a folder on a device that can easily handle the project, and start chopping it up and see what you can do. So complete that first small project by week 19, and then get feedback from it and identify your weaknesses. Believe me, I've gone this route, and it took me years. But I did establish a baseline of the things that I can do. The end of month target, you have something tangible you can show someone. Month 6, your social life. This can be difficult. Contact 3 people you haven't spoken to recently. This is not something I'm huge on. I play with this every now and then. But I try to keep myself open for people who do want to talk to me, that I have ultimately no ill will towards, and quite frankly, that it's fine to talk to them. It's not going to get me in any trouble or issues like that. Week 22, join a group, a club, a class, sports team, volunteer organization, or community. I've done that at several different times in my life. I did a nonprofit for a long time. I went with a running group every Monday in York. I did that for a whole year. That was part of my rebuilding process, and that made a significant difference. That was difficult, but I was able to run 3 miles really with no issue. I did end up with some knee issues, but turned out I just needed a brace, and then like a compression brace, and that ended up solving the problem completely. I was able to run in the hot, the cold. It was not too bad. The pure middle of winter, though, that I could not do. Week 23, have at least one conversation with someone new. So your ultimately, this month 6 is allowing you to sociably step outside your comfort zone. Week 24, organize something for yourself. A dinner, a game night, a hike, an activity. Something that requires some level of effort and organization. And at the end of the month target, you're deliberately creating opportunities for relationships instead of waiting for them. This does make a difference if you've been going to the same gym for a long time, but you haven't you've been doing the same routine. So you decide to start kicking it up a notch, but this gym is maybe not the best fit for it. So you're going to go to another gym. You never tried jiu-jitsu. You tried to go into jiu-jitsu. You start going on running 5Ks, or I don't know. You start something new, something will come of it. But as long as you're doing this to better yourself, that is only when things will come of it. Month 7, career and future. Make your future more valuable. Week 25, update your resume and cover letter. Sure. I don't know about those cover letters, though. I've never really had a good one. Update your professional profiles and portfolio if relevant. Mostly focus on your resume. And if you have profiles out there that are out of date, either update them or get rid of them. Week 26, research careers or opportunities related to your interests. All right, not a bad plan. Even if it's not in your pay range, like maybe you're going to take a significant cut. If you're going to be starting anew and you're in a situation that you don't like, better to put yourself in a situation that you do like and suffer for a little bit. Week 27, talk to someone who already does something you're interested in. Ask them a bunch of questions. Week 28, apply for something. A job, an internship, a course, a promotion, project, freelance opportunity. Putting yourself in your outside of your comfort zone so that you can excel in your career path. The end of month target. Your future has concrete possibilities rather than vague hopes. You have to dive in and figure out if it is worth it for you or if it does have a path for you instead of just sitting in that. Like I watched Office Space the other day. Wow, I do not miss having a cubicle job like that. That was rough. That's a rough one. Month 8, confidence. Stop letting fear dictate your decisions. Make a list of 10 things you're avoiding. And then take those things by week 30 and do one of those things. It's probably uncomfortable, and do one of those things every day. Week 31, practice speaking clearly and making eye contact. Okay, that's a big thing. Looking at the paper constantly as opposed to just looking at the person you're talking to or the group of people you're talking to. Try to connect with them, but not in a fake way. Just talk to them calmly. Don't use the high voice. Talk to them on their level, but talk to them. Talk with them, not at them. Practice speaking clearly, making eye contact. Stop unnecessarily apologizing. Do something on week 32. Do something you've wanted to do but kept postponing. There's a lot of things that I've postponed, but honestly, I'm working on a lot of those right now. And I'm doing them one step at a time, not putting the cart before the horse, obviously. I'm making plans for next year, and I'm doing it one step at a time. End of month target, you trust yourself more than you demonstrated that you can handle discomfort. Month 9, relationships. Improve the quality of the people around you. Week 33, identify the people who've consistently made your life better. Obviously, you should be around those people more often or find more like-minded people like that. Week 34, spend more intentional time with them. You want to be with them. You want to hang out with them. There you go. Week 35, practice listening without immediately trying to fix everything. I'm a person who tries to make sure that everything gets fixed no matter what, and sometimes I get aggressive about it. It does work, but listening and making sure you have all the information about what their problem is, what they want to do about it, or what they're looking to get out of it. Maybe they're not looking to get anything out of it. Maybe they just want to vent. Week 36. Establish boundaries with people who consistently drain or disrespect you. All right, that's a big thing. Ultimately, people who drain me or disrespect me, I don't waste my time. I don't waste my time. I don't talk to them. I don't respond to them. I move that out of my way. The universe is doing me a favor with those people that are just being emotionally draining or physically draining or financially draining or just disrespectful. Just remove them. Ignore them. Walk by them. Don't get involved with them. There's so many people that you can eliminate from your life. And you'll be like, wow, man, why did I even waste my time with that? The end of the month target, fewer shallow interactions, more meaningful relationships, whether it's business-wise, professionally, family-wise, whatever. Number 10, month number 10, build something. Produce something that didn't exist before you started. Pick one major project. So the examples, business, website, app, YouTube channel, podcast, book, portfolio, garden, art collection, community projects, certifications, or physical projects. I've created this little business of mine that's kind of a project. I built a website. I made it more app friendly for your phone. YouTube channels. I've created multiple. The podcast. It's here. Still here. Still kicking. A book. I'm not writing a book, but I have written blogs. Many of them. I've written probably about 100 blogs by now. Portfolio. Well, I mean, I have a video portfolio, but I do have a financial portfolio as well. So I've created both. A garden. I don't have a garden. I have a basil plant. But basil's delicious, though. So there's that to consider. If you go, here's the amazing thing. If you have like a basil plant and you have some mayo and you mix those two together, you get like a really good basil mayo. It can really make a nice little difference to some of your meals that you prepare. So, and basil's easy. Just plant the seed, add a shit ton of water, let that son of a gun grow. So there's that. So week 37, define the finished project. Week 38, build the first version. Week 39, improve it. Week 40, show it to real people. All right. It can be difficult when you're making like a video project to have like a draft, but ultimately once you create that timeline, you can, tweak it a little bit. So there's that to consider. But yeah, start a project, whatever it is, and see it through. Does it have to be publicized? No, not in the beginning. But if once it has all the meat and potatoes, on it, then you can start prepping it for delivery or for showing it to the public. That's week 40. Show it to real people. End of month target. You have finished something instead of merely consuming information. Month 11. Raising your standards. Stop settling for things you know aren't good enough. Week 41. Improve your wardrobe and grooming. All right. Clean and organize your living space again. Week 42. Improve your communication and practice saying what you actually mean. Stop lying, stop bullshitting, stop procrastinating. Say what you mean and do what you say. By week 43, remove another major time waster. What could that possibly be? I don't know, but figure out what it is. There's always something that's wasting your time. Week 43, okay. Week 44, revisit your finances, your fitness and career, relationships, and identify where you've been making excuses. So revisiting your finances ultimately after 44 weeks, you should have made progress by then. You should have already, some money in some things. You should have reduced your debt by now. Consolidated a few things. Though by week 44, you should absolutely have some improvements made in the financial aspect. So your everyday life reflects the person you're trying to become. Month 12. Transformation. Turn your improvements into a permanent lifestyle. It takes like 20-something weeks to actually form a habit. It only takes like 1 week to really destroy it. So review in week 45 everything that you've accomplished. Compare yourself with the day one. You were in debt. You lived in a place you didn't like. You didn't have any savings. You didn't have any investments. Your clothes didn't fit. You look like shit. You slept like shit. How are you now after 12 months? So in week 46, identify the 5 habits that produce the biggest results. Week 47, decide what you want the next 3 years to look like. Week 48, create your permanent routines. Because some of these things are not really going to stick all that well, but if enough of them stick, it's going to pave the way for the next 3 to 5 years for you. And then week 49, finish the unfinished projects or scrap them. Or just take them, save them, put them somewhere where you can attack them later. Because you never know. I've had stuff that I haven't touched for a long time, and I go look at it, and I go, huh. And then the next thing you know, it's done, and it's up. Finish those unfinished projects. Clean up the loose ends. And then week 50, take a week to focus on maintaining rather than adding new goals. Week 51, write down what changed, what didn't, what surprised you, what are you proud of, what still needs work. And then by week 52, celebrate the year. Spend time with people who matter. Take your final measurements and photos if you're tracking physical progress. The final day, don't immediately start another giant resolution. Spend an hour reviewing the first 365 and then score yourself. And it gives you a 1 to 10 rating on physical health, fitness, sleep, finances, career, and education. relationships, confidence, discipline, environment, and then your overall satisfaction. And then see how you did. Maybe give it to somebody else and be like, hey, how did I do? From where you were to where you are now. If you went from a 1 to a 5, okay. If you went from a 1 to a 3, or if you went from a 1 to a 7, figure that out. If you've made some improvements, write them down. If you can make more improvements on them, make it a point that the next year you're going to do that. Now, if you did all this over the next 5 years, where would you end up? Because it makes a huge difference. Like if people started investing and working out and eating well and just reading or watching good stuff for when they're like 18 to 22, imagine where they'd be at like 25 or 30. You could have the world by the balls by then. So there is a lot that you can accomplish if you live the next 5 years. If you put these goals into a 5-year plan. Now, your simple daily routine, you don't need a complicated system for your daily routine. Bed, so waking up at consistent times, making your bed, outside, get some sunshine, exercise, move, identify those the three priorities of things you need to get done today. Your day, get the important tasks done. Get the shit out of the way early. And then work and study on your valuable skills, eat reasonably well, move regularly, talk to another human being. By the evening, tidy up everything. Take 10 minutes out of your day, whether it's washing dishes, putting your clothes away, your gym clothes, your work clothes, getting them ready for the next day, feeding Chase, which is one of my things I have to do. You don't have to do it. I'll do it. But there's the thing. And then obviously you're eating, you're moving, talking to human beings. That social skill can make a difference. It's always, conversation is always practice. So there's that. At evening, put the phone away, review the day, prepare for tomorrow, and then sleep when you're supposed to sleep. If you're supposed to be in bed by 9, be in bed by 9. So never, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fuck up. Like today, I wasn't able to go to the gym because I wasn't feeling all that great. But I still got out. We still went for a stroll. Still made breakfast. Still did the podcast. Still got some ideas in my head. Still made an effort. Although it was a bit of a slower day for me, I still made some efforts. And ultimately, I also didn't spend any money. I didn't go and do any, finance therapy or anything like that. I stayed where I am, relaxed, got a couple things here and there done, and then I produced this episode. So there we have it. I did something today, and tomorrow I will do something else. So if you had a bad day, don't let it go for the whole week. Don't let it become a weekly thing, a monthly thing. Otherwise, you're going to fall apart and you're going to lose your way. If you can get, more than 60% of these things done in 1 year, and then you could start to focus on like 80 to 90% the second year. I mean, it's 2 years out of your life, but you could either be in jail. You could, look, how quickly you can go from healthy to diabetes? It's very quickly to go pre-diabetic. It's very easy to go into credit card debt. It's very easy to screw up a relationship. Very easy to do these things. Okay? But mentally, it's hard to accept. It really is. That you could be that terrible to yourself. So this plan, this thing that I talked about, this is me working with AI to create a plan that actually has benefit. Instead of worrying about AI taking over everything, you work with it in a way where it's not basically you're not a cyborg, but you're working with AI to create a better outcome for you physically, mentally, financially, emotionally. So don't be scared of it at this time. Use it to your advantage. You can ask questions about how do I do this or that, the other thing, and then do it. And this is a full year's plan to ultimately be like, all right, take all this information. If you took this whole thing, printed it out, you started writing things down, you're going to start going after some of them and making some significant improvements. So honestly, there's a lot of value to this. Of using AI is just as a sort of a simple guideline to bettering you. But the effort is going to come from you. The effort to do all these things is going to be all you. This is just giving you a reference point of start this week to do this, do this, do this, do this. It's like baking a cake. You need a recipe or a method ultimately that you have to learn, and then you execute it. But you got to do it yourself. You got to do it yourself. Instead of making the AI do it all for you, take the AI, use its information to help you build it. Build yourself financially, physically, mentally. That's how you should be using it. And this is 1 year. So you can do a lot in 1 year. So there you have it. That's a very simple way to turn your entire life around. A lot of people who actually want to do something in 365 days. It's not hard. The only thing that's hard is the commitment. Like, I have to do this. It's important. But you're going to do it in stages so you can build up for it. You're not going to the gym 7 days a week right out of the bat. It's not going to work. Your body's going to burn out. You're not built for that yet. The frame of your body is not built for that yet. Okay? You've got to get rid of the things that are actually dragging you down first, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally. Go from there. You don't like your environment, move. You don't like your job, quit, get a better one. Change your career path. Food, any bad food, get rid of it. Any crappy clothes, get rid of them. There's many things that you can attack, but you have to start by writing these things down and following some path similar to this one. So if you have questions, concerns about this, hit me up through my website, positivesarcasm.com. Go to the contact page. You can hit me up through Instagram at positive_sarcasm, or you can email me directly, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. You can find this podcast anywhere where it's downloadable: Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, Substack. You can also download it and stream it directly from my website, positivesarcasm.com. You can also watch it on YouTube, Positive Sarcasm Podcast, and of course, Rumble, Positive Sarcasm Podcast. So in the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing, and I'll hopefully catch you all next week. Recorded here in the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast for entertainment purposes only. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.